I am. I'm trying to find that. I'm going to speed them up. Okay. All right.
I did, yeah. That's pretty cool.
Courtesy of Chris Albert's new minutes already. Is the thing on ours?
Yeah, I'll pass it down.
Nice. Is that it? Yeah.
That's the first copy.
Is that a Patrick Gathers? Is that a Patrick Gathers job? Jim Marston? Is it a Spike Jones? Spike Lee joint? Spike Lee joint, yeah.
Hey, saw me, Laura.
No, just want to start before you all set up.
No.
Ready? All right, you want to stand and do the pledge? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we gather at this stage to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, grace, wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
All right, first item is public comment. Have we got anything? Okay. Next item is Stephen Donnelly.
Okay. Thank you very much. Stephen's actually flying back from California right now, and he apologizes he couldn't be here. But I will take this. So I have 10 copies here. Yeah, it's possible. Here we go. All right. Loma?
Actually, provide that one. Unless you have a desire for it.
He's got a couple more.
So pretty much everybody has one? Okay. So we spoke a little while back. Let me see, this will only take 10 minutes, and then you guys should do with your official duties for the village of Owego. But, so this will take 10 minutes. So we spoke a little while back about some ideas to really best utilize communications and marketing, social media, digital media, public relations, to try to bring out the best of Owego, tell what's going on that's great to Owego, connect more with the residents, and have better communication between the government and the residents. So this proposal here kind of outlines who we are a little bit and what we're proposing to do for the village of Owego. And obviously, we'll have, I understand you have to vote on it and everything gets approval and stuff, but I think you'll like what's in these pages. Some of my team is here. We have Matt and Mallory over here. They work on communications and the social media end of it as well. So real brief. So Stephen Donnelly and Associates opened up early last year. We're located on 208 Front Street here in Owego. We are probably the biggest marketing and public relations firm in the village of Owego. And as we work with other municipalities locally and beyond, we want to work with our home base, which is the village of Owego. So we are down the street. Stephen has good relationships with you, as well as maybe some others in the room. But basically what we do is public relations, communications, marketing, social media, Facebook, Google, good communications team, crisis management. So if there's any story you need to tell or some message you need to get through to the residents, our services can provide that. Okay. Some of the things that we're trying to accomplish here, and we think we can help you with, is promoting the Village of Owego, all the new initiatives and services for 2020 and beyond, all the different programs and festivals and all the good things going on in Owego. We want to bring that out and bring more people to Owego, new development for business, tourism, so on. Grow the digital presence, grow the amount of people that are engaging with the Village of Owego's website, social media pages, Google content, press releases with the various media outlets. We want more people to be engaged in the community and working with government for your programs. Disseminate pertinent information to residents is important. If there's certain things that you need to get out to the public, we want to help you be able to do that. All right, and we can do that through our relationships with television, radio, online, newspapers, Facebook, and so on. And the last thing which is important is build a sense of community. Like I said, we are local, we are right down the street. We have tons of people that follow our pages and the businesses we work with, and we want to promote all the good things going on in Owego and have more engagement with the community. All right, so how are we going to do this? And the way we do this is through looking at your website and making sure your website is optimized so when people are looking for information in the Village of Owego, they can find it. It's at the top of Google. Anything you search comes to the right page. We work closely with television, radio, newspaper companies as well. To anytime you have a good message or you want to, turn a story in the right direction, we have those media contacts. Daily social media content is important. So even if any of you individually don't like social media or you don't go on Facebook for your own personal life, it's still really important, if you have 20,000 people in the village, how many people are using Facebook every day? We want to help you get your message across. Merchandise we do as well, if you want to kind of brand Village of Owego or any different programs that you have in place. And then finally on page 4, public relations, promoting the news, different developments, different initiatives going on with the local media. A good communications plan is important too. So if you have ideas, if you're working on certain things, if there's new businesses opening up in Owego or new programs, we want you to be able to reach the masses the right way. So our company's done this with over 150 local businesses in central New York. We work with other municipalities, and the challenge for municipalities always comes down to, well, a lot of people know about our website or Facebook page, but not a lot of people engage. Not a lot of people really know what's going on, or they don't see all the good work that you guys do. So we want to bridge that gap and help you guys reach the residents, and the residents be more involved with the Village of Owego. So any questions regarding that right off the bat?
Any questions?
I have one quick question. Just tell me a couple of municipalities you work with.
Okay, so we're working with Johnson City. We do all the work with the town of Endicott, Village of Endicott, town of Union, Onondaga. So for instance, you might be familiar with like the 9 p.m. Social media campaign for the Village of Endicott, lock up and everything. That's our thing. We work hard on that. All right. Good question. All right. So the cost for us, we work on a retainer. So some months there's a ton of work to do, and other months maybe there's not as much work to do. So rather than going, okay, this is going to cost this is going to cost this, we just have a flat fee and it covers everything. We have an entire team, some will be on it, an entire team working all the time, and you'll have Facebook posts every single day pretty much regarding something to do with Owego. We can work by different departments. I'm sure everybody here has a different thing that they're kind of in charge of or what's important to them. So we want to be the marketing and the media branch for the Village of Owego. All right? When we were coming up with a price point for this, we understand that if the price is too high, there's a bid process. Plus, this is the first year we're working together, if we do work together. So we were looking at something like $2,000 a month for a year. Something that is feasible. Some municipalities, some major corporations hire a marketing person for a lot more than $24,000 a year salary to handle all of this. So that also comes into play here. You're basically hiring an entire marketing communications team to help you get your message across. All right? So this is something we want to do. Stephen Donnelly's awesome. He's not here right now. Like I said, he's flying back from California. Lucky guy. I'm sure the weather was much nicer than what we experienced this weekend. But, so any questions or concerns? Is there anything here that you really like that you think could be beneficial? Or is there anything here that maybe wouldn't work for the village of Owego that we need to kind of incorporate?
Okay, one of my things excuse me, I'm really into the cemetery committee. Okay? I'm commissioner of the cemetery. And we just had a meeting earlier and we were talking about public relations. Now, once we finalize our committee's meetings for the month, could we just send them to you and you put them on
Sure. And this will be
page for us?
Absolutely. And this would be open communication, not only with you, but with all the different departments within the village of Owego. All the time, we'll be reaching out saying what's going on this week. Is there anything particular you want to promote? Is there any information you want to disclose to the residents? Is there anything we can do to help you kind of promote whatever you're working on with the media? So that would be a two-way dialogue that's constant throughout the year.
Okay, and so in the warm weather, we have a work day every month at the cemetery.
Okay.
And so we were talking about coming up with a particular theme for each work day. So if we gave you the basic information, you would do the...
Sure. Yeah. Public relations is huge. The way the community views you and understands what you're working on is almost as important. If nobody understands why you're doing something, or the message gets jumbled in translation, or people don't know about it, it's not as effective as if the whole community is behind you, they understand. And as far as like a different message every day or every week, absolutely. I mean, that's not a problem. And we would be in close communication with you. How's your week going? What do we have these days? What kind of things do you want to promote? Okay?
Okay, and like the emergency squad, they just got an ambulance this last year. So you would do a blitz about that?
Yep, we'd have our camera crews out there, we'd take pictures, videos, interview necessary people, work closely with local media stations as well to tell the story, promote it, and then spread it and disseminate that information throughout the whole village so everybody in town knows about, the news.
Yeah, and the fire department, they're going to be working on taking care of the antique fire truck and putting a little building and so on. So you do the PR on that?
Yep, absolutely. And going back to your question, I forgot, we also do stuff with Broome County, emergency services, Office of Aging, things along those lines over with Broome County. We have good relations with everybody from Garner to Fred Akshar, Rich David, and a lot of the work that we do actually really helps the police and the fire, because you guys are pretty much the front lines for so much that goes on in the community, that having you in a good light and explaining to the residents what you guys have encountered or working on is huge. So there would be a lot of communication between yourself probably and us. What's the police doing? What's the fire doing lately? A lot of people want to know what's going on as well. They don't really know where to get it. Are there any other departments in the village that's had a tough time reaching residents with a certain message? Or has it been pretty good, streamlined?
I would have to say that we have like 2, maybe even more avenues of getting information out via Facebook. There's 2 pages on there. And a lot of the village, they love to get on social media and
complain.
And complain, but things get, sometimes a person's form of a complaint is a reaching out for help, in the form of one form or the other. And we get things done that way.
I agree.
We keep our eyes on those pages, and we fix the problems. We have a good rapport with the Penny Saver, WBNG, Fox 40. All these things are already in place. The mayor has an excellent way of getting the word for weather a park or anything that's happening in the village, and word gets around, and it's free.
It's free. Are people posting every single day?
Yeah. Every single minute.
Is it getting constantly engagement and stuff like
Yeah.
that? And who posts every day all the time?
Everyone. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it could be any individual here at this table, any of the merchants, any of the people, everybody in the village, everyone. And
I hear what you're saying. I live in Johnson City. Okay. Oh, what did you say? I live in Johnson City, and there are village discussion boards, and all the different departments in the village also has their own Facebook pages, and people are constantly talking on those pages. It's nonstop, and you're right, some people do use that avenue to reach for help, but a lot of times that turns into complaints, the conversations go off key, and a lot of times the message or the goal that you're trying to get out there kind of gets lost in translation a little bit.
Yeah,
But this is a professional team.
we're pretty
trying to-
seasoned at the
Okay.
BS that happens on social
It is
media.
not.
We can sort through and use the sifter and, to find out what's good and what's bad, and outweigh the good with the bad, and we get things done. I'm pretty sure if anybody else could agree with me, we pretty much get things done. I mean, some people, those are the only avenues they know how. That's the only way they know how to ask for help, is to complain about something. The lights are too long, or bad.
Yeah, social media is important these days, everybody uses it, and that's why that's one of the tools that we bring in, along with the other basic communications, traditional media, digital media, public relations. Social media is huge.
If I can interject a little on this. My name is Mallory. I'm Director of Content for the firm. So I handle all the copywriting and proofreading, editing, all of the written content that goes through the firm. And in our experience with municipalities, there's a big difference between sort of having an open forum for communication, which is what it seems like is kind of the function of your social media pages at this point, and having like a really measured communication strategy. Because of course people are going to use your social media pages as an opportunity to complain, because that's what people do. Most people don't reach out with positive feedback. That's kind of just human nature. People feel compelled when they're upset with something. But when you have a team of people who really understand how to handle these things, they get a different sort of response, and there's a different level of professionalism that is behind the pages, where people feel they can rely on us for constant feedback. They can rely on us for just a very cohesive sort of hub of information for the village. So with other municipalities, we work very closely with all departments. So the police department, the fire department. Anytime there's information out on the internet, even coming from different sources, we're the first ones to give the message that you want to promote. So even like something, if there's a news story about a crime in one of our municipalities, we're the first ones getting the information out there, and the news stations are picking it up from us, instead of they hear something from somebody else and then they're going to publish it because that's the information they have. So it's really kind of just about crafting the narrative and being in control of it, which is something that you don't have with like the mass anarchy that is Facebook,
Right.
as it is.
So you kind of filter out the complainers, kind of?
Absolutely, we respond to them, treat them with respect, we address their concerns, we monitor comments always. If there's anything defamatory or inflammatory, we're right on top of it, making sure that these people feel heard, but that it's not affecting everybody else who is watching and listening.
Okay, because even though we have a lot of complainers, they are part of our village.
Of course, yeah, and everyone's opinion is respected,
Everybody
but
lives here, everybody has an opinion,
of
and
course.
if they feel filtered, then
So your role would be more akin to, like, if we were a large municipality, we might have a spokesperson or a public relations person who would go out there each day and respond to or sort of help shape the narrative on things that are going on.
Right. I mean, we do that also in a very behind-the-scenes kind of way,
Yeah.
considering that a lot of what we do is digital, but we have a PR and marketing director who's in charge of relations with the media. She's the one that sets up interviews. She's the one disseminating press releases. It's just very important to kind of present yourself in that professional way to the media, because they frankly will take you more seriously once you're distributing press releases whenever there's something really big that you want to communicate to them. That's what they expect. Media always expects a press release and in a format that they understand with the information that they're going to expect. So like us all having careers in media for so long, we understand exactly the questions that journalists are going to ask and what they want to know. So we're providing them that information before they even ask.
And a really big municipality would have a public relations director, a social media and marketing director. They'd have somebody who just works on digital all day long, somebody who writes the press releases. So we kind of do all of that for less than the cost of as if you were to hire one person to do all of that for you.
Speaking of cost, so we have a $2,000 a month retainer. You said sometimes you're going to be doing hardly anything, sometimes you'll be doing a lot of things. So is it piecework? Is $2,000 a month take care of everything, or is it piecework depending on how much you do?
That covers everything.
And it's dependent on your needs. It's not that, some months we'll be doing nothing and some months we'll be doing everything. It just depending on what's going on and what exactly you need from us, we'll do as much or as little as you need.
Right, but it's constant communication also. Each week you have things going on. Most days you have things going on. And we're just going to be constantly talking to the community, informing the residents about things that are happening in the village, and creating a narrative, right? So if you have a vision for the village of Owego for 2020, we want to help you achieve whatever goals you may have there.
I guess one thing I want to comment, just for the record, is that the village of Owego does not run either of those, any of those.
No, the village of Owego has a website.
Our
Just keep our ears to the ground.
And the only person managing that website is the mayor.
The clerk's office.
Right, so we go in, help with the website development, make sure everything's optimized, functioning, all your new information is back on that website right away, and the social media pages are not only monitored, but they're actually providing focus and direction for the story that you want to kind of get out there for the year. And I know, I'm sure you have 2020, these are all the things you want to accomplish this year for the village. We can help you do that in a way that the community really backs you. Is happy that you're doing it, and grateful.
And then speaking from the business person point of view, I think people will be hard pressed to have us raise the budget by $25,000. We're only 3,800 residents. I don't know how we would convince the residents this was a good idea when they perceive these Facebook pages as their source of communication.
Okay.
Well, it's more about just optimizing the communication with the Facebook pages. Right now, you said you have no one running them, so it's basically just an open forum for residents. They're not, I guess they're getting feedback when you have time, but this would be where we're putting out information, we're being proactive about providing information, and it's an open dialogue.
I understand that aspect. I just don't know if we can convince the residents that increasing our tax cap by just over 1%. We only get a 2% tax cap. I don't know if they would bite into us doing half of that for media presence.
Yeah, and last year we were talking about trying to find $15,000 over the pool.
Right.
Yeah,
Type of thing, so.
Okay, understand the budget.
Perfect scenario, I would love to do this, but I don't know if the finances are in place.
So I suppose those pages are run, just not waiting, just sitting here.
Yeah.
Right, it would obviously be an investment on your end to do something like this, and if we had to move the numbers around, we move the numbers around. We're down the street, most of us live here. This is home base for us all day, every day, and we want the village of Owego to succeed, and we want to be part of the great stuff that you guys are working on and the stories you're pushing for the next year. So if we had to move some numbers around to make it work, we move some numbers around to make it work, right? We're here to earn your business. We understand nothing's free in life, and at the same time, you have taxpayers to answer to. We get it. I get it. So we'll make it work, but we want to help you guys out. And we think we're the best that does this in town. We're local, and we'd be here for you every day too, for all of you guys. All right? So I know you have a long list there on your agenda, so we'll sneak out back door here. We'll be in touch. I'll follow up later this week. Are there any other questions or concerns that we haven't addressed though?
We'll take a little bit, we'll get back to it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to us, any questions.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And again, Steven apologizes for not being here, but
Thank you. What was your name? Adam.
No,
thank you guys. You got it.
thank you.
Our next item is discussion on purchasing Scott airplanes. These are funds from the fire. So, Rodney called the comptroller's office like we had talked about. Yeah, we'll start. If we wanted to purchase something, we actually could use that. As long as we follow all the rules. Using the account like that.
And that'd mean
That's the update.
a competitive bid and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think the comptroller's point was, you borrow money, or not borrow money, but take money from the fund, then you would need to publish a permissive referendum notice. So it's just a notice in the paper if the residents want to call for an election.
And they need
30 days. Oh, yes.
Signatures.
Yeah, well, some number like that. Yep.
It's actually not 150, but it's some percentage of the residents, right? Yes.
So, update from the chief. Would you tell us where we are now with the grant that we applied for? What's the status of that stuff right now?
The grant paperwork's done, completed, the grant opened today. I'm just waiting back from word from the company when they're gonna submit. So they upload into the FEMA website.
And this is our advisor that's helping us do the submission? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, and Tate, I believe is his name, out of Portland. So all the wording is done, everything's typed up, ready to go. So just gotta be uploaded to the FEMA. We can look at it together, click the send button, and it's off.
Okay.
Submitted, so.
You were pleased with the
I was very pleased.
the work they did?
They did a tremendous amount of things that I would have never thought of. That's obviously why you hire a grant writer.
Right. They know a lot of stuff.
They came up with a lot of stuff.
All the keywords to put in there, hopefully.
Yes, they did. So I was very pleased. So,
So what do we need to do tonight then?
Well, what we've kind of thought about doing is not taking an action at this time. We're still sniffing at where our money's gonna come from, what we're gonna do, sniffing our budget as we're gonna look for various things. That was kind of our feel, so we are not into I don't know that this is the role of the board, but we're not into the emergency at this moment. I don't believe that we were ready to spring for it at the moment.
Price.
yeah, you got the new price.
That's right, there's a new price.
5-year lease program.
Right.
So,
Jimmy, did you tell, the board probably doesn't know that, we got a price again from the company that we were looking at, Scott, for the
I think it
full
went up
shot.
by $2,000.
What else? So they were talking about that. That bid was gonna leave on the 24th of January, and it did, and now it's raised. A similar proposal is $2,000 more than that.
I believe everybody got the email, correct?
Yeah. 3%.
Price went up 3%, but they're holding it to what they were gonna offer us free, so we're still getting that stuff.
So we have to come up with essentially $37,000 down payment?
Correct.
And then-
If you wanted to go the lease,
Right.
that was a 5-year lease.
And that's buying all 25 at once.
So what happens at the end of the 5 years? We turn the stuff in and lease yours? It's ours.
To the lease purchase.
Okay.
So there's no balloon purchase price at the end, we just
Nope.
hold it at the end.
You put down payment, if you went the lease way, it would be $34,000 down, and then your first payment would be a year after closing,
So that was for 5 years, right?
5 years.
After that, we're responsible for payment for services of,
Yeah, 5 years of payments at $36,937.94. Rate was 3.08%.
That's what the lease factor is?
Yes.
That's pretty decent rate.
So would we be able to take 36,000 out of the line item to do this?
Subject to permissive referendum. Right?
Right.
Well, no, not from the line item, from the reserve.
From the reserve.
Whatever, line item or reserve.
If you're gonna take it from the line item, then you can just appropriate it without anything
Yeah.
else.
I
Reserve.
couldn't see
permissive
draining that just to pay for this, when we have trucks that may or may not break.
Right.
Yeah, we could take the 36,000 out of the reserve, but
34.
For the down payment.
Right.
The down payment.
We just have to figure out how we're gonna come up with the 36,000 every year.
Per year.
Right.
I know we're holding a lot of stock in getting this grant, but we don't know the future.
Yeah, if it
That's
doesn't
where my
happen,
concern
then we're $36,000 in the hole every year trying to.
Right.
So are we still in the same thought process that we're still holding on this while we weigh various things? Is that where we still are?
So if we were taken out of the reserve, what's the process to do that?
Make it tell us.
Well, we've held a public hearing on the question of whether or not the reserve should be utilized for this purchase. So then the board would need to pass a resolution authorizing that actual use of the money, and then we publish a permissive referendum notice in the
Next
paper.
30 days.
And then you got 30 days to wait after that.
What about, do we need a borrowing resolution because of the 5-year loan?
Well, it's a lease purchase, and we need some formal resolution for that to authorize it. It's not quite the same as a borrowing resolution, it's pretty similar. But
But to authorize the mayor to sign the
yeah, we would need,
lease agreement. Yeah.
I would want to put together a resolution for that.
Okay.
So I need, again, I just need to know, like, what are we purchasing, how much is it for, how long are we financing it for, and all that stuff, in order to put the resolutions together.
So should we ask Jim to get us a proposed contract?
It sounds like he's got whatever documents from them already.
Okay.
And so I think that's what I would need, but I just need to know from the board,
Yeah.
do you want to go that route, or is there another route?
Mike, what is the reserve? How much do you have in reserve right now for equipment?
202,000, right?
But we'll get another 30-some thousand put on top of that, so it's about 240 maybe.
Oh, when
So
the
when
tax
does the
bills come in?
37,000 come?
Talk about the money we're getting from the town and them.
Yeah.
We normally get it like in a month or so.
So this,
So we could take it out of that?
Well, remember that, no, not exactly, because that money goes into the reserve fund.
Yeah.
but is that money that the board in this current budget year appropriated to put into the reserve?
Yeah.
So instead of, I think you just changed that appropriation then. Instead of appropriating it to put it into the reserve, you just appropriate it to
And keep the reserve at.
Yeah, you keep the reserve at 200 some odd thousand, and then I'm not sure if you even need to do anything subject to permissive referendum, because the money never got into the reserve in the first place.
We just need the borrowing resolution.
Yeah.
How would that work for the next lease payment a year from now?
Well, then, I mean, that's what you guys have to figure out.
Would you then have to,
Oh, if you wanted to utilize the reserve next year for that.
you could appropriate the funds again, but at some point, well, I guess at some point you wouldn't have to do that, but it seems like.
I mean, if every year you're just putting $37,000 into this reserve, instead of doing that, just pay the lease.
Yeah,
And the reserve is set at 200,000.
but then again, the reserve doesn't get added to and.
Right.
But it doesn't get deleted either.
Right, the lease either, but it doesn't get added to.
How comfortable is that $200,000 for you now, if it were to stay that same number for 5 years?
As far as coming out of the budget?
Well, no, as far as-
No, not having that extra, almost $200,000 added to the reserve, so the reserve could be $400,000
5 years.
in 5 years, but otherwise
There's
it's
a lot of
still.
what ifs.
Yeah, yeah.
And as we're talking about all this, everything has other pieces to go with it. We don't have a reserve for the EMS. So as we're spending certain monies and things, there's just,
the
that's why
ambulances are getting
this is
older
why we keep talking about not jumping on this, because we've got a lot of things to figure out.
For both, I mean, so.
It's meant to be both. So, yeah, so there's more complications.
So probably in our next fiscal year, we should establish a reserve for EMS.
We didn't do it this year because we weren't sure there's gonna be an extra money.
Yeah, right.
I The way I see it is, we can live without a fire truck right now. If we went down one truck, we can't live without scout packs.
Yeah. Yeah, the fire trucks don't fight the fires, you guys do.
Yeah.
Is there any one truck that if it went down, we'd have to buy, like,
Well, again, you could bond those out though, if you can.
Right now,
Maybe lots
most
of
trucks
stuff,
are in pretty decent shape
is there
right
any
now, but
critical?
can't.
Like you said, we go down one, but I mean, which one?
Yeah, and then you're down a
They
truck.
all provide a function, different function, right?
Correct.
You don't want to be talking and worrying about that right now.
So we have to have another public hearing? Is that what you're saying?
We already had a public hearing.
Yeah, we did have public hearing. So you're saying, so instead of doing the whole permissive referendum thing,
We could
pay the
read
bill
out.
right out of the budget?
Well, right, because, yeah, because in this budget cycle,
We could do that.
Treasurer report here, we would have, the number, what you say, 37,000 square feet close.
But again, when does it become urgent though? The end of this month, right? Because then we're,
39 bottles short.
right.
Did we check, we checked before, but did we search a little farther for used stuff at all?
Anything that's online is out of date.
Very, yeah, I don't want to buy stuff that's bad, you know, but we already got enough.
We're already in that books.
I know they said that one of the options we could sell the old stuff maybe to somebody else. I guess there's nobody selling it.
Well, then, that would be the thought is, once the, new stuff is in, to get rid of the old stuff, so it's hard to say what you get.
And what was the discussion about at the last meeting about sort of splitting the baby? You know,
Do we buy 5 every year for 5 years? There's all things.
or do half now and,
See if we get the grant.
yeah.
So the big worry is the new packs come with a tracking system in it. So if I'm wearing an old pack, I get hurt in a fire, I'm not wearing a new pack,
Yeah.
what's Smash gonna say?
Yeah.